Hi, Life Insurance Rockstar here with 5 tips on how you can find the best term life insurance. Okay, tip number 1, beware of payment plans. Payment plans might not seem like that big of a deal when you're shopping for term life insurance, but when you're buying term life insurance, payment plans mean a lot. I'll give you an example. You might look for a policy and get quoted a price of, say, $2,000 a year. But when all of a sudden the monthly bill comes, it's much more than $2,000 divided by 12. Well, why is that? The further away from annual pay you go, the more money you're actually paying. You could be paying sometimes between $10 and $20 per month if you're on a monthly payment plan. So in summary, for tip number 1, pay annual. Don't pay semi-annual, don't pay quarterly, don't pay monthly, because you end up spending more money than you need to. Pay annually. Okay, tip number 2, beware of personal information. I know, what does that have to do with how much you pay for term life insurance? It has a lot to do with it. Let me explain. When you hit a web page, and that's how most people start out by shopping for term life insurance, they will be asked for some information. What's your zip code? What state do you live in? Sometimes they'll ask you more questions like what's your social security number? All sorts of information that they do not need to quote your personal term life insurance. Why are they asking all of this information? They're trying to lure you in. You don't need to play that game. Believe it or not, you only need basic information to quote term life insurance. We need to know your age, we need to know your general health status, and we need to know the amount of coverage you want to have, and of course, how long do you want the term policy to remain in force. That's it. We don't need your social security number, we don't need to know what state you live in, give or take. That one's a little bit of an asterisk, but for the most part. So beware of the insurance companies and the agents and the online sites that are trying to gather a lot of your personal information. They're just trying to hook you. They don't need that information to quote it, and you don't have to give up that type of personal information. Hi, okay, tip number 3, beware of terminology. Now what does that mean? That means you might go to one insurance company or one agency or one website and you might be called a preferred risk. What does preferred mean? Nothing. It's just terminology. It's just something that an insurance company or an agency has come up with to try and make you feel special. Because one insurance company might consider you preferred, another might consider you super preferred, another might consider you super plus preferred. Doesn't mean anything. They're just sales terms. So don't get suckered in by thinking, hey, I'm getting the preferred plus rate with one insurance company, there can't be any better, because you might find an insurance company that calls the same price super preferred. Again, pay attention to the price. Tip number 4, beware of the super preferred rate that you're seeing on the screen. Did you know that only 7% of the people that apply for term life insurance actually get the rate that they applied for if they're applying for the insurance company's least expensive rate? 7%. That means that 93% of you out there, when you apply for term life insurance and you get the rate on the screen, you're not getting that rate. Of course, the insurance companies are going to show you their absolute best possible rate, but if only 7% of people can actually qualify for that, is that really the rate you should be expecting? No, you shouldn't. Again, beware of the quoted rate versus the rate you're going to actually get. You might be in that 93% and that's not going to be the price that you end up paying. Tip number 5, be sure you're comparing apples to apples. Now I know that sounds obvious, but believe it or not, it's not always that easy when you're shopping for term life insurance online. You want to be sure if you're comparing a 20-year term with one company to a 20-year term with another company, be sure that both of those terms give you all of the same provisions. For example, one term policy might give you the ability to convert into a permanent policy without proving that you're healthy, whereas another term policy might not give you that option. That option is worth a lot of money. So you need to be careful. It's not just the dollars you see. You need to be sure you're comparing apples to apples. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at lifeinsurance.rocks, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.
Brought to you by the Life Insurance Rockstar at www.lifeinsurance.rocks.